Good evening, my dollar bin beauties. I am here with another sack of priceless artifacts rescued from the clutches of the dollar bin. So let's see how I did. Okay, Avengers Academy. So this is going to be pretty recent, right? This has got to be 2010-ish? You know, between 2010 and 2016, I'm thinking. Yeah, let me see. 2011. There you go. Okay. Interesting. What is the gist of this one? Paige Chan Hannah Cox. I don't really know these creators or this story. This is an interesting. See, this I get. I remember this. I played this when it came out. It's a pretty good game. Big fan. The next one didn't really, Black and White 2 really didn't seem to add much to it, but it was a fun generation of Pokemon. Okay, Red Hood and the So this is New 52, so I've never read this. I completely jumped off board from DC in its entirety when they rebooted and did the New 52. I had been actively following 7 or 8 different titles, buying them weekly, buying trades of all sorts of stuff, and then they just wipe it out. And then start a bunch of stories that seemed poorly written. The New 52 just seemed bad. Like, the only one I read was Justice League #1, and all of the characterizations, I'm supposed to say they're wrong, right? I'm supposed to be like, that's not my Batman. But it wasn't that. It was that none of the characters had consistent characterizations, even within a single issue. None of them had a coherent personality. You had Batman and Green Lantern punching each other for no reason. Meanwhile, that was a thing that happened in Justice League Europe after Batman punching Guy Gardner or whatever it was. That was earned. They didn't wipe out all of continuity and then all of a sudden have these two dudes slap each other, which is kind of what the New 52 felt like. So I have no idea what this story is. I completely jumped out. There was so much great Batman stuff going on. I had read all of the Jeff Johns Rebirth, both Flash and Green Lantern. There was so many irons in the fire, and the stories were getting so big, and then they just smash them for this nonsense. I mean, is there anything right? I mean, this should sum it up. This kind of show is the kind of comic that they were making. These aren't going to hold up. They're not great. It's the difference between Saved by the Bell and Breaking Bad. I, of course, still fondly remember Saved by the Bell, but I'm not going to call it good. It was algorithmic schlock, designed to trigger kids, which is what this and the New 52 seemed to be. It didn't really seem like there was much there for the fans, considering the fans liked the previous universe. And we loved Scott Snyder was killing it. He was writing the best Batman stories ever. There was... Grant Morrison has done some amazing Batman stuff, but it didn't feel like it was... like Batman-y? Does that make... it wasn't bad, but there's a way in which it just... Scott Snyder captured the detective aspect of Batman, which a lot of artists have done, a lot of writers have done, but he also managed to put this hard-nosed detective guy and the cosmic level superhero guy and have them kind of work together. So Scott Snyder was just doing things that no one has done on Batman since, including Scott Snyder, because of the editorial, handcuffs that the reboot created. So, really just, the New 52, man, there's nothing in it for me. I assumed by now there would be people talking about New 52, extended runs that were great, that after a decade of this universe, there'd be something that people were telling me to go back and check, but no. No one has said, man, you gotta check out this run from 2000. No. No one really seems to like the reboot, and now, since Flashpoint, they undid it, and now I just don't care. Okay, so let's see what this guy is. Nightwing. Okay, so this is the good DC. This is 4 years before they smashed continuity. You got Marv Wolfman writing Dick Grayson stories. That's it. That's pretty stellar. That's what we want. We want adults writing meaningful characters. Salem, Massachusetts. Okay, so this is fun. How the shit does it go from bat-related witch murder to modern day Gotham. Very cool. Like I said, this is a thing. It's not we like continuity. That's the reason we're going to these universes. If we wanted pure serialized story or pure one and done, disconnected floppies that don't tie into a larger universe, well, we can get that anywhere else in the world. Comic books are about a shared universe and ongoing character development. Every single time they reboot the series, it shakes off more fans. Now, I know they're going to tell you that's not true. They're going to tell you that it increases sales, but sales aren't to fans. Sales of comics are, one, the publisher just sells to distributors. So none of us have ever bought a comic from Marvel. None of us have ever. I have never bought anything from DC Comics. And neither of you if you're watching this. And we can go one step further. I've never even bought it from a company that bought something from DC. There's a distribution level that is between the customer and the retailer. I mean, between the retailer and the publisher, and then the retailers are between the customer and the distributor. There are so many levels that, there's just nothing there. So when DC says we sold X number of copies of a Batman book, they don't mean to people. They mean to a closed network of distributors. And once again, because of the bankruptcy system, you can just design a business, have a supplier, load up themselves up with debt, and then just declare bankruptcy. So it's entirely possible that no one is buying these brand new hot books that they're touting all these crazy sales numbers for. Because once again, they're not sold to the end user. They're the fan, the customer, us, comic book fans, me, you. We're just not part of the supply chain for the big publishers. Marvel and DC really, it's not that they don't need us. We're just not even there. It's like, they don't need oranges. They don't need rusty nails. They don't need a big old hot air balloon. Those are just not things related to comic book sales. And I'm telling you right now, the fans are also completely unrelated. So, let's see what we got here. Holy shit, this is cool. Okay. Number 4 in a 4-part. I know I have number 1 in this. Wonder if I should go in and fill this in. So, when would I guess this art is? I want to say this gotta be 88? Let's see. 83, even older. Oh, look at me, Burger Time. I mean, that ad would have... That is several generations of gaming from where I thought this was. Till death do us part. God. This costume is really stupid, right? These they're not even bell bottoms. They're bell middles. They're just too high up. So weird. And I don't know, I guess Mockingbird's got the same one. Very interesting. Very fun. There you go. This is much more my speed. There you go. Bullpen bulletins. Look at this. Look at the checklist. We got letters. We got all sorts of nonsense. This is fun. I mean, look at this. Splash across. Fun. Everyone fighting everybody. There you go. This is a fun era. It's got that book smell, the comic book smell that the new glossy shit was never gonna get. There's something about that old book find. Okay. I wonder what this one. Let's see. Okay, last but not least. So this is a pretty new ad, right? I think this is gonna be 2012, 2010. Uncanny X-Force. So this is a run that I kind of always told myself I was going to read just because it was always very highly recommended. I think I may have checked out an issue or two and I just wasn't blown away, but I definitely didn't give it much of a chance. Rick Remender is great. He's one of the good Marvel writers who can do this really... I mean, this is all very weird, high-concept mutant shit. This isn't... every once in a while, Wolverine will just do, a hard-nosed detective story, or there'll be, a small... Nah, that's not what this is. I mean, look, page 1 is Beast and Arcade... Beast with a jetpack. Boom. Beast with a jetpack. That's a big swing. That is some cool shit. The Age of Archangel will be vastly superior. Freaky shit, man. I have no idea what this is from. The Dark Angel Saga, Chapter 4. Okay, I don't want to go too much further because once again, it's a run I don't have the earlier pieces of. So there you go. This is a very cool, not a bad haul. You know, I mean, I gotta be honest. You know, I hate to be this corny, but I'm almost always going to say that the oldest book is my favorite, which will be the Hawkeye. So this was great. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, how would I order them? I would say favorite, second favorite, third favorite, fourth, and last, and definitely least is any DC post-New 52. Sorry, but you fucked up. Like, we need somebody in charge of DC who says it was wrong to reboot, and every time we reboot, we make worse product. Now, unfortunately, that would mean the next guy at DC has to be somebody who says the last guy's an asshole. And when the last guy and the people who put him in charge are the guys who pick the next guy, creates a scenario where nobody can actually solve a problem. We're seeing that with the DC film universe. No one likes the Snyderverse. No one ever did. But because that's how it started, and you have to continue to follow the investing strategy, nobody can just say, these movies sucked, so we need to go in a different direction. And until somebody can say we're actually going in a different direction, I don't have to give a shit. So we need new leadership. We really, and honestly at this point, it's not CEO, it's not editor-in-chief. The ownership structure of these publishers has to be dramatically changed, and it could be done. I'm just saying you can't have, the passive income shit has to be cut out. There can't be thousands of investors sitting in Connecticut doing no work and making money off of these books, making money off of the retail. Like, my local comic book shop is paying way too much for bad books, and it's because of passive income, that these publishers are peeling off massive amounts of resources from their company just to give to people because they think they deserve it, and that's the gist of it. So basically, we need a whole new ownership structure, which will lead to a whole new management structure, and that is the only way we can get rid of this New 52 reboot shit. So let's see. Like I said, older is better. There you go. Good evening, my dollar being beauties. See you next time.